Welcome to Perfectly Paranormal, episode 14. My name's Annaschmidt, and I'm here every week to share with you true paranormal encounters and information about devils, demons, and dark energy beings that no one else talks about. And today I'm interviewing Laura about the looming black figure hovering over her bed. We're going to talk about house healing and the constant psychic attack and negative energy cording that Laura experienced from a not-so-friendly acquaintance who relished in using black magic and sending out demons to do her bidding. And we're going to look at how I helped her manage this toxic person and situation. And please note, there is one short burst of faint dog barking in the background from my next door neighbour's dog. And we have a couple of odd happenings with the sound and the microphone. Well, we are talking about black magic and demons today, so what else can you expect? Anyway, let's see how the universe put Laura and me together in her time of need. Hello, Laura. It is wonderful to have you on Perfectly Paranormal today. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, and thank you for having me. I'm excited, really excited.
Now, Laura, would you like to tell everyone how we actually met? Because that is an important part of your story.
Yes, well, it was around this time last year. I saw a post for a market, a local market in the state, and I'd never been to this place before. The thing that drew me there was one of my kids is obsessed with the Highland cows. We just thought, okay, we've got to take the kids to see the cows. So off we went to this market, and we went around, we had a look at the cows. We went and looked into the inside. They had some stalls and had something to eat, and then it was time to go. And then I said to my husband, hang on, I just want to have another look where the stalls are. I just felt like I had to go back in there. I didn't know why. So I walked back in there and had a look around, and then I saw Anna's stall for the first time. Like I'd already been in the shed and did my lap around with the kids, but I just saw the stall and I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I walked over there, and the first thing I was drawn to was her book, Darkness Around Us. I wouldn't normally be attracted to something like this because this subject would be confronting for me. So, and when I started talking to Anna and chatting about, a recent experience that was going on at that time, I was like, oh, this book might really help me understand what's going on. So I brought the book, and I brought both books actually. They're brilliant, and started reading them. And I thought, I need a clearing. So and the thing that kind of drew me to this darkness book, The Darkness Around Us, is probably a week before, one night when I was laying in bed, I saw this dark figure just hovering over us, me and my husband. And it was a bit scary, but I didn't, panic, but I could definitely see this being, just this dark, shadowy being. And, I thought I'd got rid of it with, my sage and crystals. I didn't, because it kept coming back. So, I contacted Anna and I said, oh, yep, this is why I needed to find this book, to learn about these beings. And, I booked in my energy clearing, and the whole family got done.
Did the house as well?
Yes, we did the house. And we found, lots of things that had been here for years. And that day I got home, because I was out of the house with the clearing, I got home and the house the air seemed lighter, and the house didn't seem so dense. It felt like fresh hair was, going through again. But now it doesn't, it doesn't scare me anymore, because I've learnt that, you can work with these beings, and they're not as scary as Hollywood makes them out to be.
No, they're not. No, it's really interesting. And
Yeah.
yes, your home was interesting because it's been in the family for such a long time. There'd been a lot of people that had lived in that home. So there was quite a few energetic imprints.
Yes.
When I met Laura, initially it was for an energetic clearing for herself, for each of the family members, and for the home. But there was another specific issue that was happening in Laura's life at that time with a person in her life. So, Laura, do you want to tell us a little bit about the issues that you were having with this person?
This particular person, we'll call her Max. She became quite toxic to me and to the family also. So I'd come to the decision that I had to cut this person out of my life. And, it was really hard, like it is with cutting anybody out of your life. It's emotional. It's, you're wondering if you're doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, I think we were doing the right thing because of all the drama and she just sucked all of my energy up. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for the kids. It wasn't good for my husband.
So Max had some particularly unhealthy behaviours, we'll call them. Dabbling in occult practices, satanic practices, taking recreational drugs to the extreme. And all of these particular activities or actions or habits that Max had was becoming extremely detrimental in Laura's life. And I think this is why the universe brought us together at that market that very day, was for me, who I'm used to dealing with people dabbling in those sorts of things and the type of dark and demonic beings that hang around people like that. And I think we needed to meet so that I could actually assist you to break away from that toxic relationship.
Yes, I think, definitely met for a reason. I didn't realise that, Max was a toxic person in my life at the time. It's just when I got the clearing done for the house and myself, but the dark energies kept coming back. And I'm like, what am I bringing into my home that, is affecting? I had to call Anna to get another clearing. And there were energies attached, and we were wondering, what's brought this in so quickly. And I kind of had an inkling, I kind of had a feeling that it was Max because of the practices that she did. And I did feel uncomfortable when she came into my home after the clearing, because I just felt like she had some darkness attached to her, just with all of the practices. And I mean, she probably wouldn't have said it was witchcraft, but at the time, that's what it was.
So we'll just call it black magic. Okay,
Yep.
so this person was dabbling in black magic, and people who do those sorts of activities are going to attract the lower vibrational beings, whether they're dark or demonic beings. And wherever that person goes, these beings are going to be traveling with that person. And if they're around vulnerable people or in other people's homes, sometimes these energy beings will stay behind if there is other food sources there, because they're very much energy connected. So these dark and demonic beings feed off energetic imprints. So Laura, how did you identify that someone was energetically attacking you or energetically attached to you? Could you describe some of the signs and symptoms that you felt, that you've told me about when you felt you were being energetically attacked by Max?
Definitely my biggest one is fatigue, like extreme fatigue. And even, because she's courting frequently, monthly with the rituals that she does, I thought, okay, I've got to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor. I got a full blood count done. I got all my levels checked, I thought, oh, maybe I'm low in iron, or maybe, maybe there's something that I'm low in, but everything come back perfect with my blood. So I was like, okay, so it's definitely, something energetic. I've ruled out the physical things. I noticed that I get really interrupted sleep. I dream about Max, even though I don't want to be thinking about Max. It just pops up in my dreams. And I yawn a lot. I probably never told you this, but I yawn a lot when I'm feeling like she's courted to me. So, yeah, that my biggest thing is fatigue. Like, that's my telltale. Even though I wanted to have Max out of my life, I just couldn't stop thinking about her. I started to feel sorry for her, and it was really weird. Like, I started to notice her particular car everywhere when I went out driving. I'd say she drove a red Toyota, I'd see a red Toyota, not her driving the car as such, but like I'd noticed that model of car wherever I went, whereas before I wouldn't have noticed it. And she was in the front of my mind all the time. And I was feeling bad for cutting her out of my life. I was feeling sorry for her. So, and this person also tried to reach out to me by sending, packages in the mail and letters and, emails to mutual friends with information that would get back to me. So I knew that this person was, trying to energetically get to me. Just little things like that. My senses were like, she's trying to get to me.
So that makes absolute sense, what Laura has said. So what Max is doing is what I call psychic cording. Now, Max has also read my book, so she understands how energy cords work. And through using her black magic practices and understanding energy cording, she was attempting to cord into Laura to manipulate her energetically, emotionally, and mentally to get Laura to come back to her, to refriend her, to unblock the emails and the messages. And it's highly, highly toxic when people do things like that. Now, Laura knows now, because I've disconnected the cording between Laura and Max many, many times. And I actually teach people how to do the cord disconnection. So when I suggested to Laura that we actually do this interview so she can share things that she noticed about when someone was negatively corded to her, I thought that people out there would find that really, really interesting. And they may even realise that they've got someone negatively corded to them that is affecting their energy, affecting their sleep, affecting their mental functioning, affecting their emotions. Because Laura would ring me and she'd be quite upset, and she's like, oh, she's in my mind again. She's in my mind again. I feel really sorry for her. I think I have to talk to her. I think I have to go round to her house. And I'm saying to Laura, just listen to yourself. We've talked about Max a lot. We've got her out of your life. You said to me that you are now feeling more relaxed, more settled in yourself, being able to function more fully. If you bring Max back into your life, do you think that you will feel that clear functionality, or are you going to revert back to the way you used to feel when you were with her, energetically drained and tired all the time, couldn't function, didn't sleep very well? So Laura started to realise that this cording that Max was doing on a monthly basis was actually highly, highly toxic to her. And she's messaged me quite a few times now going, I think she's doing it again. So I've taught Laura, as much as I've shared the process of how to disconnect energy cording with lots of people now. It's a really simple process. So Laura, once we'd had this conversation a few times about how to disconnect the cords, what did you actually do every time that you felt that Max was cording into you? What did you actually do about it?
Well, first I contacted you. I was like, Anna, I just need to find out what I can do. And that's where I learned how to cut the the cord energetically. So, you know, calling upon Archangel Michael, I use him a lot. And I had to do it, and I had to do it yesterday. So, you know, I was feeling really drained again. So I called upon him, and I just ask that he disconnects us and sends off Max lovingly. And I don't think anything bad about Max, because otherwise that's just going to keep that cord attached. You've got to kind of disconnect. You've got to let them go. You did a clearing for me, and when you did tune in, you did see that, because I wouldn't believe myself. Like I would think I was making it up. So, you know, someone like Anna could tune in and say, yep, it's definitely Max, you know, attached. So that was really helpful for me to know that I wasn't going crazy, like I wasn't just making all of this up. I've got confirmation. I've got someone that understands what I'm feeling and what I'm going through.
So to disconnect from someone that's highly toxic in your life is simply, with intention, you call in a higher vibrational being, which is just what Laura has described. So I teach people to do this by working with Archangel Michael, but you can use any higher vibrational being from any denomination that you believe in. And you just ask them to simply come and disconnect, cut and cauterize the cord between yourself and between that other person. And you respectfully send them off. You know, there's no malice, just like Laura was saying. There's no malice, there's no hatred, there's no nothing. You were just asking to be energetically disconnected. Now, Max has a habit of doing this every month on the full moon, according to whatever black magic, satanic practices that she believes in. And she's been sending me demonic beings by the droves. And I simply disconnect, cut and cauterize the cord between Max and myself, between these beings and myself, and I just send them back out into the environment, because that is how you work with these beings. They either transition into a place called the healing space in the afterlife waiting room, or they go back out in the environment. Because we've found, since we've been doing this process, probably for about the last 5 or 6 months, every month that you need to be disconnected from Max, is that you have similar symptoms every time.
Yes.
It's always the fatigue and feeling really drained and feeling sorry for her and wanting to reconnect to her again. So that's part of these black magic practices, is to send out post-hypnotic suggestions, you know. Laura will come back to me. Laura will be my friend again. Laura needs me. I am a part of Laura's life. Sending out all those suggestions, which people are easily permeated by. They don't realise how easy that intention can affect people's mental and emotional states. And she's attempting to do that to you. Like, she's going to have a serious karmic backlash, whether it's this lifetime or the next lifetime. What you do to others always comes back to you. And what I do want to say is that you did the right thing to go and see your doctor first. Like I always tell people through my YouTube channel and through the podcast, never ever assume that anything is paranormal within your person. You always see your doctor, get your blood counts done, get any tests done to make sure it's not medical. If you're feeling that it's a mental health issue, see a psychologist, see a counsellor. If they're giving you, look, we think you're okay, you're ticking all the boxes that you're okay, then it's got to be energetic. But energetic always comes third on the list. Even though I work as a paranormal specialist, I always send people to the doctor, mental health professional if needed. Then we look at the energetic side of things. And it's really sad that she feels that she needs to be that way in her life, that she can't move on and can't accept change. But anyway, that's Max's life and that's Max's choices. So the last thing that I wanted to ask you is that how do you maintain your awareness, and what sort of protection do you use against what Max is doing?
Well, I'm just really regularly cutting the cord. At first, I wasn't regular with the cord cutting because I just didn't believe that someone could keep reattaching themselves so often to somebody. I thought, oh, surely I'm just making this up. But I'd let it go on for a week or so, and then I'd be like, no, it's definitely this energetic. I've got to clear, so I've got to do the cord cutting again. And yeah, so I was really slack with it at the beginning, and in the last couple of months, I've just, even before I go to sleep at night, I say, I call in Archangel Michael. I say, help to cut, cauterize, disconnect the cord between me and Max. And, I do feel better after I've cut that cord. And it just, because it's very draining. I'm really sensitive to this kind of energy. Yeah. So, and another thing I try is to, when I visualize her going away, like disconnecting from me, I visualize very peacefully, very, very respectfully, wishing her well, because I do want her to have a really, good life, and I do want her to be well. But there's just a point where you have to cut certain people out of your life because they're not good for you. You've got to put yourself first, I think. And, if these people aren't going to change for the better, then you've got to look after yourself and your family. This just helps me as a ritual. I just sage the house a lot. I just feel like it's cleansing, refreshing, and just meditation, like just come into yourself and just be aware.
It's great, because people that are going to listen to this are going to be people like you before you understood this.
Yes.
So they need to hear it from someone who's come from that unawareness into awareness.
Yes.
And understanding that when you get that draining and you're feeling really tired and you're feeling sorry for Max, that's the clincher for me, is that we got you over that hurdle. You became so confident and empowered that you didn't need her in your life because she was quite toxic. And in your mindset, so I saw you probably a couple of times a month for a couple of months. And over that time, I saw a big change in your self-confidence. And you'd moved away from feeling sorry for her and being a support for her and wanting to help her, because Max doesn't want to help herself. So you can't help. And when she's dabbling in black magic, satanic practices, sending out demons to hurt people, sending out cording all the time, she's attracting negativity to herself. And you don't want to be around someone like that.
No, it wasn't good. And even it wasn't good for, like, one of my children. Like, I think we found that she'd corded onto him. So yeah, it was just, she was trying everything to, I don't know where I'm going with that.
She was trying everything to hang on to you, to keep you in her life, because she was feeding off your energy, basically.
Yes.
Which is unfair. So all you've done by continuously disconnecting these energetic cords is that you were looking after yourself. Your energy is for you. It is not for her. It is not for anyone else. I mean, we give it to our family members. That's fine. That's what we do. But it's not for someone toxic like that. I've had a similar experience where I kept seeing the same person in my head all the time. They'd pop up on social media. They would keep sending me emails. I would just see them in my head, like I'm working away on my computer, and all of a sudden that person's face would pop up in front of me and they'd be really angry and contorted, and their eyes would almost go black, which to me is a sign of lower vibrational beings are present, like the dark energies are present. And what I would do is I would just very calmly, with no emotions attached, just call in Archangel Michael to please come now, disconnect, cut and cauterize that cord, and I would just let that person go. And then I would do what I called whitewashing, which is just like in my mind where I could see that person's face, I just paint it white. And you're going to love this, Laura. Because she corded to both of us recently, I got sick of doing the whitewashing. So now what I do is I've got a big white sticker and I just stick it over her face so I can't see her anymore, because her face is now so contorted and snarling teeth and black eyes. Like, I'm seeing beyond Max in her human form to what she is connecting with through her satanic practices. And I'm like, nah, not part of my life. So I just, with respect, I just put a sticker over her face. Every time I see her face, I just put this big white sticker over it. And the sticker, with intention, just blocks that connection on another level. Because I'm very visual, as well as feeling that cording that comes from negative people. People who are listening, we're talking about energy vampires. You may have heard that term before. They literally just suck your energy dry. And Laura was attached to Max for how long? How long have you been friends with Max?
Probably a good year, but it was a really intense year. Like, it was from the moment we met, it was just, instant connection, but also it turned into, like, I felt like I was an emotional crutch. Yeah, I just, more than a friendship after that, it was like I was needed. Yeah, it was a very intense year.
People don't believe in this stuff because you can't tangibly see it. But you've seen the proof of disconnecting these cords. You know what you feel like before and after the cords have been disconnected. I live this lifestyle of working with the paranormal all the time. And when people step into that world, it's really hard for them to understand that this stuff is real. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean that it's not there. You know, how do you prove that love exists? Love is a feeling, love is an emotion, love is a sensation. People know it's real because they love other people. They get those warm feelings when they connect to people. That's a poor choice of word. When they're involved with other people, is that they feel love towards that person. But how do you prove it? There's no tangibility for love. You know, so love is an energy. It's the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. That's one thing I've learned from this whole thing, is to trust myself and trust my gut instincts and my feelings, and just do what feels right, which is, disconnecting this person. And I felt better for it. Yes, I feel sorry for her because I'm a really empathetic person, so I'll always feel sorry for her. But, that's something I have to work on myself. That's, I need to build myself up and be a bit stronger and put myself first. It's been an interesting journey.
It has, hasn't it? I would like to thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview today. I know you're really nervous, but I thought it was a really important message for people to hear from someone who has experienced psychic attack firsthand.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you very soon.
Yep, thank you.
So in episode 15, I'm going to be sharing with you the difference between mediumship, paranormal investigation, and paranormal energy clearing, and how many of my clients have been caught out paying for a service which didn't solve their problem. And I'm also going to share the types of questions and things to ask paranormal workers to get the service that you need. So thank you for joining me today, and don't forget to send me your paranormal questions and stories that you would love to share with the world. Email me at spiritualbeing44@gmail.com, and for information on paranormal house clearing, you can visit my website. The address is in the description box. And I look forward to sharing this spooky space again with you next week. And remember, life is perfectly paranormal.